up and welcome to a Confident Club Cuppa.
Hiya Steve, hello everybody.
Hello.
Hiya.
What's today about?
Oh, we're on step 41.
Yes.
Don't learn to communicate. Ooh. George Bernard Shaw. He came out with some cracking quotes. How about this one? The trouble with her is that she lacks the power of conversation, but not the power of speech. So do you know, have you ever thought about this? You can't not communicate. Ooh,
Yeah, it's like
hurts your brain,
it's
doesn't
like
it?
you can't process a negative, hence every
Yeah.
tip in that book starts
Yeah,
the word
yeah.
done. So what I would say is, we know lots of people go, I'm terrified of giving presentations, so I'm going to avoid giving going on a course or whatever, right? But what that means is, it doesn't mean that you're not communicating, it just means you're still communicating, but really crap, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think you communicate without opening your mouth as well.
True.
So it's such a huge topic. I mean, we spend 2 days on a workshop exploring this in detail, don't we? So I was thinking, what's the nugget? What's the nugget from this that maybe think about it different? And I think it might be about noticing, or what some people might call sensory acuity.
Yeah, if you're going to be posh, sensory acuity.
Yeah.
I think that's relevant. I think just noticing what's going on with whoever you're communicating with. And I'm going to add to that as well. I think it's developing the ability to listen, because communication's two-way, isn't it? It's not just you talking at somebody. They need to get it. So it's a two-way thing.
That's right, because sending it out isn't enough. You've got to go, has it been received?
Yeah.
And I think there's so much around that. But I think a lot of people just don't notice. So I'm going to name no names here, but there's a close family member who goes for coffee regularly with some other close family members.
Yeah.
And I said, how was it today? She said, I never got a chance to say out again.
Really?
And what do you mean? She said, well, he was banging on about his health issues and she was banging on about that. And then at one point, one of them went, oh, what's happening with so-and-so? And I kind of told them, but then they didn't give me a chance to finish and they're off again. So I just sat there and I just didn't think I'd been heard. So it's sort of that.
Yeah.
Giving the pin. I mean, when kids were little, we actually did that thing. You might have done this, where we had to get a wooden spoon, like a cooking spoon, and you're only allowed to talk if you're holding the spoon. Because in our family, we're all great talkers, and everybody else had to listen. So you might not be able to do that in the executive board meeting, but maybe you could.
You can, because I did that. You told me that story about your kid years ago. And in my accountancy practice, when we had
a little face on it.
When we had our when we had our meetings went on forever about nothing. Yeah. There was one guy in particular always interrupted, and I said, I've got this great idea that my brother does with his kids, and I took a spoon in. I can't remember if it had a face on. Yeah. And you could only speak if you had the spoon. Yeah.
So that's giving everybody a chance to have their voice, but that still doesn't mean that everybody else was listening.
No, true.
I see, before everybody went, working from home and Teams and Zoom, in real live meetings, I've seen this with a few clients where I've been invited along for whatever, I'm on the agenda and they're doing other stuff first. Yeah. The amount of people that are on laptops and phones and whatever, and you're going, well, that's again already saying to whoever's at the front, whoever's sat down talking, I'm not paying attention. And I think you can, I don't know, tenfold that's going on when you're on Zoom or Teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole thing about, and this is different, going off a real massive tangent here, but the whole thing about having your camera turned off, right? That just says to me right there on well, you're not listening, or I can't, but I have no evidence to prove to me that you are.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling than when we have an exercise we do occasionally, don't we, called an interview that we run. And there's no better feeling when we say to people, when somebody spent genuinely, because it's a process we get people to go through, genuinely knowing that somebody spent 20 minutes at least listening to them. And we said to them, how did that feel? And they went, great. Because it's rare. Right, and it's not only is it rare that people don't listen to people, but it's also rare that they don't listen. That they listen to them without making any judgment as well.
This is a sweeping generalisation.
Yes,
and I've seen this happen in the pub with my partner Malk.
Yes,
particularly when a group of guys get together. One of them's talking, right, and he's probably telling some terrible joke. Yeah, and you can tell that everybody is just waiting for their turn to jump in.
Yeah, because this is why men only know one great joke. Right, so because there's somebody telling a joke about a dog and they're not listening to that, they're going, when he's finished his joke, I can tell my joke, so they never hear that one, right? So most men, it is a sweeping generalisation, but most men are just waiting their turn to reply.
So, Steve, what's your top tip then out of all of this?
And my top tip, I suppose, is because we kind of turned it around, is communication is a massive topic, but maybe the focus should be more on noticing what's going on and listening more, and listening, first seeking to understand before being understood, as Stephen Covey very famously said it.
He certainly did, and I think that's crucial.
I'll see you there.
Bye.